good morning, Atlanta. Good morning, Southeast. Good morning, East Coast. Good morning, wherever you are. Thank you for being here. Thank you for opening your calendar. We like to say here that it is not a small thing that you are here, and it is not a small thing that you woke up. So thank you very much for doing whatever you did. Move things around. Have your coffee earlier, have your coffee later, and whatever you did, I appreciate you. We appreciate that you're here. Very good. So I got a question for you guys, an appropriate question for Andrea. I was waiting for Andrea to come in so that I can ask her my question.
Go for it, Gio. What's up?
Oh, no.
Andrea, which bird has the worst manners?
I don't know, Gio. Tell me.
The mockingbird.
Yeah, they're going downhill. There's no stop. There's no stop. That was cute. That was cute.
Shall we all be
Gio.
mockingbirds and mock Gio?
Oh,
No.
okay, I'll do the wah, wah, wah.
I knew it wasn't the robin.
Oh.
It was awesome. That was my favorite one.
Hey, Gio, it is the way you say it is.
Exactly.
You know, they're terrible. I know they're terrible. I heard it yesterday and I was like, that's a bad one. I need to share it. Okay, very good. Thank you all for being here. Today we have a phenomenal conversation with someone who has a phenomenal journey to share with us. Saurel, America's leadership coach. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Giovanni. I am the way I say I am, and I am happy.
I love that. You are happy. You get to say, well, very quickly, I'm just going to get all of us very present and ready for the conversation. Sheila, good morning. What time is it? Sheila, you look great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. What time is it? You know what, Saurel? And Saurel, Gio, and the Daily Huddle family, the time is now. N-O-W, right now.
The time is now. Right. Very good. Michelle, good morning. Where are you?
I am right here where I'm supposed to be, focused and ready to rock.
Right here. Mark Ham, good morning, sir. 2 questions for you. How are you? And one thing you're grateful for.
Man, I'm feeling amped up today because I got swagger. That's how I feel. Swagged. And right now, I'm thankful for this swaggerlicious hat. Shout out to Jacqueline Kennedy.
And
we are all officially jealous.
Mark, and you are the way that you say that you are. Say something else, your emotions will follow something else. Saurel, we are here for you. And Miss Kris, good morning, Saurel. Miss Kris, good morning. How are you, everybody? Go ahead, Saurel.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am here for you, and I'm here for all of us. And it's my delight to be here. And also my delight to introduce to you inside of this question, is inner peace in the midst of chaos even possible? I know you've considered that. Kris Castro describes herself as a faithful warrior, an inspiring visionary, and a bold change agent. After 50 plus years of walking with the Lord through both joyful and extremely difficult seasons of her life, Kris works with people like us and others, Christian business owners and leaders, to hear the Lord's voice more clearly so that they receive breakthroughs and strategies that build bridges toward their goals and heart's desires. She has the unique ability of making the change process an adventure and loves partnering with her clients each step of the way. So, Kris, is inner peace in the midst of chaos even possible? Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Huddle.
Good morning again. And the answer is yes. So, and what's really funny is I got done with my original episode, which was number 256 on the 17th of March. And then I get this email from Saurel and Giovanni that says, we really think that we should continue the conversation. We'd like you to come back. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, wow, okay. And so if you haven't seen the previous conversation, go back and watch it. It explains the map behind me, which was my crazy adventure with the Lord across the United States, where I just kind of followed him. He didn't tell me where to go. And I literally every day said, where am I going, Lord? And I ended up going 12,000 miles. It was a phenomenal adventure, and I wrote a book, which the link is above. But we're going to pick up, and I'm going to dive a little bit deeper, because that adventure never would have happened if I had not learned how to develop peace in the midst of chaos. And to help you understand this, first I want to talk about what inner peace is. It's not happiness, and most people get that really confused. It has nothing to do with happiness, nothing, and everything to do with a state of spiritual and psychological calm in the midst of the chaos. It's that ability to stand in a storm peacefully and calmly as it's raging around you. And it looks like, if you were to look inside me, it would look like me mastering my feelings and thoughts and emotions about the storm. Sometimes you can't change what's going on. You merely have to journey through it. And that requires a depth of inner peace. And those anxiety, anger, frustration, sadness, depression, disappointment, all those feelings might still be there because you're human. It's not like you don't feel. It's the ability to master those feelings and overcome those feelings, to choose calm. And it depends on where you get your calm from. And it's a learned process. And this is the thing, is we don't wake up and automatically know how to do this. A lot of times we have to go through these really difficult situations to learn how to do it. And so here's my story. And I want to just kind of give you an overview, and then I want to open this up for a fun conversation. So several years ago, I was going through a very dark period of a situation in my life that wasn't being resolved, let's just say. And I don't want to go into details about the situation itself, but I want to use that situation as a platform for this conversation. In this situation, I was doing everything in my power to fix it, but I couldn't fix it. It had a lot to do with another person, and I couldn't fix that situation because I had very little control over it, and I couldn't walk away from that situation. And so in that process, I ended up getting really broken. And I ended up in a place where I lost myself. And the more I started to lose myself in the brokenness of dealing with that situation, the more difficult everything became. And all of my emotions started going wild because I just couldn't fix it. I couldn't, I was frustrated, I was tired, I was angry, I was bitter, I was resentful, you name it, I was there. And I got to a place as to where I snapped, and I really scared myself in the process of snapping. And it was at that moment I knew I needed help, because I had lost my ability to manage my own anger and emotions and feelings at that point in time. And I started thinking, all right, if I don't manage this, it's only going to get worse. And I'm tired of feeling this way. Where do I get help? And Jesus and I have been best friends since we were little, and I knew he was the only one that could fix it. And so I started looking for somewhere that I could get help, where he was a focus in that. And there's a group called Celebrate Recovery, which is a 12-step program that focuses on your healing and recovery with Jesus as basically the higher power. Like, that is who your higher power is in this experience. And so I went through this 12-step program. I started dealing with all the stuff that I was dealing with. After a year of going through this program, so much of my life has changed, so much of my stuff. And I don't mean the situation didn't change. I had changed. I had gotten to a place of being able to deal with, manage myself, and rerouted in a lot of what had grounded me previously. And so I got out of this situation, and the inner peace I had gained was incredible, because the situation didn't change, but I was responding so much better in it. I was choosing surrender. I was choosing, the recovery principles of one day at a time, 1 hour at a time sometimes, trusting God would work it out. And the more I started doing that, the more the chaos didn't affect me as much. And then fast forward, and I don't remember if I told this story last time, but I went through this adventure. I basically lived out of my car and stopped in all of these places, and there was divine interventions and miraculous stories and incredible things just happened along the way. God took care of me. I got back and I was staying with a friend, and then the Lord opened up a door for a place for me. And that was a whole divine intervention, because I couldn't prove that I could pay rent. I couldn't prove anything because my business was all over the place. I had no steady streams of income, and yet the Lord opened up a door for a landlord to believe that I could pay rent just on faith. And I signed the lease, she let me sign it, and he paid rent for months because income was still all over the place. And then one day the Lord said to me, I want you to give. And I don't remember how much money I had in my checkbook, but it was like maybe $5. And I basically said to the Lord, I don't know how I'm going to do this. What do you mean give? And he's like, just do it. I said, okay. Because at this point I trusted him on a way deeper level after this adventure. And so I knew I didn't have enough money in my checkbook. So I pulled out my credit card and I charged the money that I was giving, the tithe, whatever it was. And no lie, a week later, I got a check for like $300 unexpectedly from some place that I hadn't even known it was coming from. And I was like, wow. So you really mean it when you say you're going to provide. And so I did it again. I gave again when he told me to. And again, he brought money in that wasn't expected. And so I started playing this game with him, which is I can't outgive you God. And I literally, whatever I gave the month before, I added $50 to it before I even knew how much money I was going to make that month, and before I knew how any of the bills were going to get paid. And no lie, every month the Lord paid all of my bills and money, a little bit more money on top of that. And by the end of 6 months, I was giving at a place that I had never given before my entire life, without any sort of steady income. And that lesson taught me that why am I worrying about anything? If I really believe God is who he says he is, he's going to take care of me. It doesn't mean everything's going to go my way. It doesn't mean I'm not going to experience any disappointment or pain. It doesn't mean I'm not going to get angry with God, because, sometimes I still do, because I'm human and I don't always like what he does or how he takes care of something. Like, why isn't it my time, God? Like, I want it done now. I don't think later is the right decision, God. Really, I don't think later is. But that whole process over the last 5 years has developed so much inner peace in me. And now I can honestly say, and I'm going to stop here and we're going to open this up. But now I can honestly say, it doesn't matter what tragically horrible, difficult situation shows up. All of that process has taught me that inner peace not only is possible, but it's available whenever I need it. And I just want to end with a verse and refer you to something. So there's a verse in the Bible, Isaiah 26:3, which says, you keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. And that is just key. You have to trust in the Lord. For me, because I believe in Jesus, you have to trust in him and believe who he says he is. There's also an article I found on Inc. magazine, which is 10 things mentally strong people give up to gain inner peace. And I just want to read these 10 off. So the first thing is you have to basically stop engaging with toxic people, because you can't deal with them, control them. They make your life miserable. And if you can, just stop dealing with them if it's possible. That's one way. Another way is stop excessive self-blaming. None of us is perfect. If you do something, forgive yourself and move on. Stop holding it over your head like a pile of hot coals with a baggage that you can never get rid of. Forgive yourself and move on. Stop chasing happiness because it doesn't stick around. Don't chase happiness. Stop chasing comfortability, because if you don't get out of your comfort zone, you're never going to grow. Stop chasing victim mentality. Sure, things happen to us. It's awful. I've had things happen to me. Was I a victim at times? Sure, I was a victim. In that situation, I was a victim, okay? But I can't claim that and own it and hold on to it. I've got to let it go. Otherwise, I can't be the best I can be, and I can never get past it. Stop trying to impress people. And I don't mean get people, do the best you can, develop relationships and have that collaboration and with people. I mean, do your best, be authentic, be transparent. And if people don't like it, oh well. Oh well, I am who I am. I'm going to grow. I'm going to make mistakes. If I am coming to you authentically and transparently and you don't like me, I guess you probably shouldn't be in my circle. The next one is stop pursuing perfection. Nothing is perfect. You'll never be perfect. You'll never do everything perfectly, and life is never going to be perfect. So stop pursuing it. Stop holding on to grudges. All it does is, that's like poison. Seriously, you can have grudges against people and it's poisoning you, not them. Really, just let go. Stop the quest for material things. Having things is nice, but questing and striving to have them, you're just focusing on the wrong stuff. And lastly, stop focusing on self-reliance. All of us need people. We can't do everything ourselves. We can't be a complete loner. We all need something. I need help. Other people need help from me. Sometimes I'm a complete mess and I can't function. And I've got to just say, I can't function right now. Will somebody help me? So those are 10 things, and that's kind of Kris's version of those 10 things from Inc. magazine. Anyway, but let's open it up for a conversation.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's open it up for conversation. And I want to acknowledge you, Kris, by saying these 3 words: vulnerable. Thank you for vulnerability. Courageous. Thank you for having the guts to go through whatever you had to go through to create yourself as the contribution you are today. And last but not least, resilience. Resilient. Those 3 things in my book make you the faithful warrior with us today. So questions, comments, anything, folks. Take a piece of Kris. Go ahead, Sheila.
All right, Kris, thank you. That was such food for thought for me for the day and for, my business, working with my son. I'm a preacher's kid, so that was like really some really great food for thought. And thank you for sharing your journey, because I'm personally in a place where I've been out from where I used to work for about 12 months now. And now I'm starting to look to see what I want to do, what I don't want to do, what has got, just a lot of stuff is like up in the air. My condo is hot. They're trying to sell it. I get 3 calls a day. We want to sell it. We want to sell it. And I'm like, should I sell it? You know, where am I going? But my point is that this was really a great opening. So thank you for, and Saurel said it best, your vulnerability and sharing that kind of journey, because it's not easy to when God is knocking, and of course without knowing, we don't know anyway, but without knowing, you walk through that door.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was awesome.
Thank you, Sheila.
I put the Inc. Magazine reference in there, by the way. Michael asked for it in the chat.
Awesome. I also posted it on Facebook to all of our listeners. Thank you for being here, Deborah. Keith from Florida, thank you. Who else has a question? Gio, any comments?
Yeah. So, Kris, you're awesome. Your joy for your journey is inspiring. Now, I want to, no, let me say it differently. The joy that shines from your journey is inspiring. That's what I mean. Could you say a thing or two on that concept when you said the situation didn't change, I had changed, and that you had access to inner peace? Could you say something about that? A few thoughts on that?
Sure. Gosh, so much of life is how you act, react, and think. You can walk through anything if you have those 3 things healthy. And I use the term healthy loosely. There's a balance of negativity and positivity, right? Because we all have those negative thoughts that run through our head because we're just in a bad space at the moment. And our head space often determines our heart space. And our heart space determines our head space. They're very much together. And if our heart is wounded and hurt, and there's a lot of past pain that we haven't dealt with, it really does cause a filter for how we think. For example, if you think about, let's say, those horrible ads that you watch with the dogs that are chained to posts and like they're asking for donations, they are so hard to watch because you just want to go rescue them all, right? Well, those dogs, once they're cleaned up and they're given for adoption, the people that adopt those dogs have to be in a headspace of understanding that those dogs don't trust them because they have never been in a safe space before. And they have to earn the trust of that dog. And they have to be okay with the dog like biting, like reaching out to bite them when they come too close, or if they pet them, running away because they're scared. There's this whole thing that the owner has to do to understand the headspace of the dog. And that headspace is us at times. We're walking around with all of this pain from our past, and we're reacting sometimes, a lot of times subconsciously, to stuff. And it's not even the person or the situation in front of us. It's this thing that happened to us 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago. But we haven't processed through it, and we don't understand that we're still reacting to that. And so inner peace is that place of being able to latch on to truth. What is the truth in this situation? Is this situation that I'm walking through the be-all, end-all, or is it something else? And for me, that journey that I went through in that situation I was so broken at that time. I couldn't see truth. All I could see was my pain. And so everything I was doing was from a place of pain. The anger got worse. The resentment got worse. The bitterness got worse. Everything because I was in pain. But once I started to process and heal and work through and latch onto what I call real truth, which was other things, a lot of biblically based truths for me, as well as circumstantial truths, it released me. And so I was able to walk through that same situation that didn't change because that person was not walking out their healing and recovery, let's just say. I was able to walk through that better. Not perfectly, because, I still blew up at times and still didn't react well at times, but better. And the more I practiced latching onto truth, the easier it was for me to walk through that difficulty. Does that help?
Man, that was beautiful. That was awesome. Thank you, Kris. I love the analogy of the dog, by the way. That was brilliant. We're at the time of unfortunately, Kris, this was really great. Your wisdom is it's just what's the word I'm looking for? It's just magnetic. Ronald, last question for you. Go ahead, Ronald. What's there with you?
Hey, it's great. It's a great huddle today. One thing that I get, and I'd like to hear Kris' opinion about that, is the quest for material things. It seems like, and I heard it before, like the quest of material thing is kind of associated with an age. Like this is an age thing. Sometimes there's something that your 10-year-old, the 10-year-old of yourself is asking, as opposed to the 50-year-old that you are. So how do you react, or how do you understand the quest for material thing in the biblical concept or in your journey? Is that?
I think I understand your question, so let me answer it and see if I got it right. So the first thing I want to say is, if you look at statistics for when people are on their deathbeds, nobody says, I wish I had more stuff, ever. Everyone always says, I wish I had more time with my family, or I wish I had more connections. It's always about people, not stuff. And so the striving for material stuff, I think it's got a lot more to do with a place of what is it that you feel you need to be fulfilled. And that answer kind of brings you to that trajectory as to how much stuff you're acquiring. For me, I was brought up in a household where we had stuff. We didn't strive for stuff. And so that wasn't part of my makeup. There are other people who have had lack, and they've had lack so much and never had enough that that's a way for them to feel safe. And so they strive for stuff to feel safe. So I think it really just boils down to, where are you getting your safety and why are you getting your stuff? Because I like stuff. I've got a motorcycle. That's a toy. Do I need it? No. Do I like it? Yes. Acquired that because I love it, right? But I'm not out there striving for stuff. So just look at your intentions and look at your motives, and that'll clarify the striving for stuff.
Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Your motive. That's the word. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ronald. Thank you, Kris. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It was just a phenomenal conversation, Kris. Thank you for the angle that you brought it all. that you used it all, and how I love one of the principles that you read on the authentic self. Allow yourself to be authentic, and then the right people will be in your circle. Saurel, bring us
Giovanni.
home.
In 2 words, Kris, what are your last comments?
It'll be a little bit more than 2 words. The joy
figured
of the
that.
Lord is my strength.
Thank you, faithful warrior. Thank you. Thank you. Giovanni, you know, you and I are having a conversation with the world on the 24th of April. And that conversation's entitled Transformation and the Struggle of Relationships. Now, that might be your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your significant other, your relationship with your dog. It doesn't matter. If you are in a relationship, Giovanni and I are committedly inviting you to this conversation on the 24th of April. And we'll post the link. We'd love to see you there. And we bid you goodbye today, but it's not for long. We'll see you again tomorrow. And leave this way. Giovanni, what are those things we should do and practice so we can be just like you?
Well, you broke my pattern there. So I'm not sure about being just like me. It's a little bit more like who you are underneath the layers, right? So love, and find a way to put the conditions away. Love those that you find not to love easily. Eat more sensibly. Eat closer to plant-based.
You
Laugh.
might say just like Michael Harris.
Just like Michael Harris. Laugh out loud. Make yourself laugh. Just laugh. Just the exercise of laughing will trigger all the chemicals to give you a sexy smile. Stress less. It's not that big of a deal. This shall pass too.
Get some
Give.
sleep.
Give. Keep giving. Just give. Get some sleep. At least 6 hours. I say 6, Saurel says 8. Well, 7 then. And finally, move. Move every day. Dance every day. At least 15 minutes. Just do it every day. Move. Thank you all for being here. We love you. Have a phenomenal rest of the day.
See you tomorrow.
Said a hustler's work is never through. We making it cause we make it move. The only thing we know how to do. Said it's the only thing we know how to do. Work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard. We work hard, play hard, keep partying like it's your job. Work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard. We work hard, play hard, keep partying like it's your job.